Hey, my babies, how y'all doing today? I'm sorry for the scratchiness in my throat, but I got my tea right here. I sure do. And get a sip. Happy new season, new year for those of you who like to call it that. But happy new year, new season. I wanted to bring in this year with newness, all newness. But I wanted to also start off by patty wagging on where I left off last year with the pieces that needs to be taken away in order for us to progress. I wanted to redo that because when I went back, I realized that it was very low and I really couldn't hear. And one thing I want to do is make sure that you receive the message. You understand? And so in order for one to
I know you are not
oh, I'm
trying to re
sorry.
record what I've already
Mm-hmm.
recorded.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
I get that. However the case may be. Come on now, Betty. You know, in order for one to receive the message, one
You're
must
right.
be
You're
able
right.
to hear
You're
the
right. You're right.
message.
She's right. She's right.
Hmm.
We'll go ahead on.
Well, okay. So I wanted to re-record that message so that you could get the message because I also want to continue on with the progress. You understand? So what I was discussing or trying to discuss, okay, Betty, what I was discussing in this video was the steps that I needed to take to get to my trueness, to get to me, to get to who I know I am. And it was a journey. It was, babies. It really was. It was a journey. And the reason why it was pretty hard because the first two steps that I had to take are steps that a lot of people find very hard to take. I don't do things such as taking pieces of myself, maturing. I don't go through that process without doing it with the Most High. You understand? Because what I was going through was going to be surgery, and I needed my surgeon with me while going, the surgeon needs to be there when you're going through surgery because it's just one that's doing the surgery. So the steps I had to take to walk in my trueness. I've always believed that I was a person of peace and love. Others may say otherwise, but I know what is endowed in my mind, body, and spirit. You understand? I know my truth. I know myself. It's called self actualization. You knowing yourself, knowing who you truly are, and you're not allowing no one to tell you otherwise, right? So while wanting to get to that point of self, I had to, there were steps that I had to take that one must take in order to get there, right? Okay. And a lot of those steps that we must take is very, very hard for the average human to understand and or receive. You understand? And also very important, hard to walk away from because there's going to be a lot of walking away from as you, the individual, the self, the person matures and grows. You understand? All right. So let's get into it. The two major things. This is what I was discussing this in this video. Is what the first step. The first thing I had to do. And see, here's the thing, don't do this without the Most High. Don't do this without the Most High. I'm trying to tell you. Because this is a surgery you are about to go through, a spiritual surgery, the coming out of, the bringing away from, the breaking of chains, the breaking of curses. This is what you are about to do. You understand what I'm saying? So I had to do this with the Most High. Okay, so walking into it with the Most High, okay, the first thing was, here we go, let's get into it. My family. Yes. And when I say your family, I don't like that term friends. Either you're a fam or you're a foe. There is no in between for granny. It sure most certainly is. No in between. We get straight to it. The family. So that also means the people that you didn't picked up along the way, the people you didn't grew up with, those people too. The family, right? So the family are your first teachers. They are the ones, whether you know it or not, that really pretty much build up your identity. They're the ones who tell you who you are, right? Even though that may not be you. You don't feel that way, but they are the ones who tell you who you are, where you should go in life, how you should go in life, how you should think in life, how you should, they teach you all your morale, their morale, beliefs, theories, opinions, right? Now, at some point, you may have indulged in those things, whether it be, anything, you may have indulged in those things. You know how you have that family that just gossip all damn day? Yeah, you may have indulged, or you have that generational family full of whores. Yeah, you may have indulged in those things. Yes, but you know it, right? And see, it's the thing, you can't keep letting people take that away from you, right? And you feel it in your spirit. This is not of me. I could do better than this. I feel like there is something different in me. I feel like there's something glowing in me. I feel like I have to testify to the world. I feel like I got something to offer, a lot more. You understand, right? I don't agree with that teaching. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that way of living. I don't agree with that way of doing. I don't agree with these things. You understand what I'm saying? As you begin to mature. You understand? And here's the thing, a lot of you really think that you are not worthy because of the family you've come from. You understand? Or the environment that you are in. No, that's a lie, right? We're about to go through this surgery, right? And so since we are going through this surgery with the Most High, I'm going to tell you what the Creator going to do. The Creator is great with what it does and how it does it. You understand? So the Most High allowed me, right? Because I knew, there's certain things I just thought I'm not with. So the Creator out of love, the Creator will never allow you to walk away from any situation with a hardness of a heart. It's going to have you to walk away with understanding. You understand? Because what you're going to obtain throughout this journey is understanding, right? And then once you grasp the understanding, you're going to have to make a choice, right? Okay, so I had to grasp understanding, right? And so what the Creator allowed me to do was to sit throughout the seasons. I'm going to show you. With each and every family member that I needed to sit down with. Whether the lesson was for me or for them, I had to sit, or for both of us. I had to sit down with them to get to know them, to understand them. You understand? Because little do you know, you raised with your mama, you there with your mama. Do y'all really sit down and think about what goes on or what has went on with your mom? Do you really ask your dad what's went on with his life, how he really feeling, what's going on in his heart? Do y'all care? You understand? Do you really know what's really going on with your family members? What's really going on in their heads? What's really going on in their minds? And these are the things that is not allowing them to change. You understand? So with sitting down with each and every family member that the Creator wanted me to sit down with. And I'm going to tell you something. Don't sit here and be looking, oh, that family member a dopehead or that family member an alcoholic. I'm gonna tell you some of them some of the greatest people. But because they chose to stay with the